Welcome back to the least professional StarCraft 2, better known as Bronze League Heroes. You've seen the best of the best, but the best of the rest is where the real creativity lies. There's a bit of magic in the way these guys play, and that's because in the blue, we have the Terran player. It's magic. And on the other side, it's one of you. Yes, in the red, it's a very old man in a best of one ladder experience with 3 Reapers into the base to start things off, a spine crawler in position, but far too late to solve both the back pain and the Reaper problems here. And if either of those things or this particular player's name describes you, it'd be awesome if you could like and maybe, well, if you don't feel too offended, subscribe. And Jimmy, what are we? What? 1,381 likes on this video, on this cast, on this absolute display of genius. And, well, I'll see if my sanity can cast another one. Concussive shells, now finished for magic. Not the ideal upgrade to help out those Reapers, but certainly something to look forward to in the future. Home Depot coming together as the supply line is gathered and well established, as magic will not be supply blocked for quite a while yet. Very old man, meanwhile, has been featured in Bronze League Heroes before, but I am happy to announce that he's moved up to the Gold League. So this is not indeed Bronze, which is mostly reserved for whenever the intern has some sort of ranking bug, or people who are truly committed to being there. But instead, very old man has put the effort in and has reached gold. Honestly, I'm not sure how far magic has gotten, but with genius strategies like these, straight out of 2010, 14 years ago. Oh yeah, happy birthday, StarCraft 2. StarCraft 2 is now older than Maru was when he played his first professional match at 13 years of age. And if you don't feel old yet, remember, back in the day, when YouTube, you could put stars, like 0 out of 5 stars. Well, that wasn't 2010. That only lasted like a year, but here we are now. I just was kind of throwing that all out there. And speaking of throwing pretty much everything out there, we have Cloak and Stim on the way for magic. A Roach Warren and a Baneling Nest alongside very old man's lair. And, well, his tech location, his tech pustule here, coming together. The spine crawlers holding down the back of the mineral line. And another Reaper is taken out. 4 Reapers destroyed so far, which is more Reapers than you'll see in most games. But Magic is putting together quite a force, a ragtag band of Terran Marines, a few Hellions. Will open up the depot and begin his very critical wall off on the low ground. He's already made sure that no air units will be able to scale his walls and climb into the base because of the water defense depots we have here. Smartly done. Hydralisk Den, double Evo chamber, infestation pit, but really we're wondering where the spire is, because so far the tech shrubbery has not yet expanded to cover quite everything. We've got Overlord speed, we've got Baneling speed, we've got Roach speed. Whereas the speed we're kind of lacking in is, you know what? Pretty solid. 78 APM apiece so far. Dead even, perfectly balanced, as all things should be, though most players will claim they aren't. The Marines. Very old man. Does he see it on its way across the map? He technically had vision of it, and don't let the classic skin on the hatchery fool you. This is, of course, SC2. Even if you've been watching that SC1 versus SC2. And the Marines show up. Stim is done. Brenda! Wake up! It's not even 8 a.m., alright? I'm not supposed to be awake till noon. Unfortunately, for very old man, the Marines are knocking on his door. The Queens are targeted down. The Banelings are going to... He's targeting the Banes. He didn't get all of them, and they do terrible, terrible damage. He may have mistook some of them for eggs and larvae there. Well cloaked. He's clicked onto the Roach Warren, and then the Evo Chamber, maximizing the effectiveness of those Broodlings. And while the Broodlings attack, is right-clicked on the Baneling Nest. It's a disaster for Magic, as he takes the narrow path to making sure those units don't win the game. Meanwhile, the Banshees fly in and cloak. The Reapers are back. The Reapers will be taken out, or will they, as the Zerglings make sure to escape the Banshees and their devastating damage. Meanwhile, a drone is also here. He uncloaks the Banshees in order to take out the Spine. Of course, the Spine cannot hit up. More Spore Crawlers. Couple... Wait, was he building more Spines as well? Now 2 Spines at the back of the mineral line. That lumbar support. Burrow on the way. Additional Spore Crawlers. Overseer's done. It's gonna move the Spine Crawler up. Unfortunately, too little and too late to save the base. Recloaks. But the Banshees will be driven back. And Magic, so far, making himself happen out on the map. Dead even supply, 61 apiece. Magic with a little bit of money in the bank. Very old man spending his a bit more regularly. That retirement fund not looking so great. Expanding to another base, gonna make sure everything's set up. 43 to 33 workers. In fact, building so many buildings right now. 4 Spore and way too many hatcheries ago. Very old man said, I don't really need an economy. Slow and steady wins the race. Unfortunately, this isn't a race. It's a death match. So slightly different in terms of objectives. But we will see if he's able to pull it back together. The Banshees still looking for an opportunity. Magic managed to spend most of the rest of his money. He took his macro turn, and he's back to micro time. As they say. Macro hard, micro soft. Brenda, no, come back! The Banshees, though, intimidated by the strong and independent nature of that queen. And we'll go over to the side. Decloaks. But the Hydras are in position. Cloaks 1, the other's out of energy. And the Overseers, and he decloaks again. All right, wearing an entire dressing room of cloaks right now. The hive is nearly completed. A spire on the way. Currently, the Spore and Spine per minute has reached well over 1. Third command center will land on the low ground, as Magic will now discover engineering bay technology. Technically, +1 ranged attack is completed for Very Old Man, giving him what we're going to very technically call the upgrade lead. Magic has 120 supply, which some might consider to be higher than Very Old Man's 65. But you have to consider Depot's on the way. Making sure those sea creatures will never rise up and invade the base again. Maybe playing a bit too much Age of Mythology lately, but either way, I mean, his name is Magic, so. The mules will drop, and Magic putting together more and more of that army supply. The hive is complete, though. Very Old Man, he does have lurkers. Or lurker den, rather. Banshees on the way. Using multiple control groups is our Terran player here. None for his army, but he's got the control groups for his buildings in that kind of old school style. Oh, but the Banshee's outflanked by the Hydras and the Spore. The Banshee's still microing. 3 mutas on the way. Those mutas could pose an existential threat. He takes the cloak back off. Magic with currently a significant amount of Marine Marauder back at home, but he's very focused on making sure that Banshee is effective as possible. He's got 12 kills on it. It's ranked up, I'm sure, at this point, which is mostly to brag to your friends and doesn't actually have any combat effectiveness, but still. The depots. Magic will not be supply blocked for the rest of the game at this rate, which is which could be anywhere from 1 to 100 minutes, based on my past experience and predictions. And while you're down there, like and subscribe. Sensor tower on the way. Ultralisk Cavern, of course, is going to be the follow-up choice to the... well, he's already got 2 out of 3 lisks. There are only 3 lists, right? Ultras, Mutas, Hydras. Yes, I covered it. 2-2's now on the way. Magic, catching up on those upgrades. In fact, surpassing Very Old Man. Not that that's a particularly difficult thing to do. Old Man with 65 drones now, though. Something dangerously close to a solid economy. Overlord going to be hunted down by the Marines. Another Roach Warren going to be built. Roach Warren number 2 attempted. Remember, the first one was gunned down mercilessly by the Marines in that first assault. Overlord being pushed away, but Overlord speed is completed, so, well, that isn't going to be enough. He does actually get supply blocked off of that, unfortunately. But now 72 drones. 8 more Overlords on the way for Very Old Man. Yes, Magic. Now, well, something, if you just cut the timer down, if you cut the timer in half right now, Magic would look like he has a really solid army. With 2-2 on the way, 200 supply. He's looking very good right now. In fact, I'm hard-pressed to find more things that he should be doing before just moving across the map. But we're not here for coaching. We're here to experience the magic at this level of play. So let's go to the Magic action kit.
Command center upgrade complete.
As the depots, while technically he's at 200 supply, you can never be too careful, as getting a supply block can be devastating at key moments. And also, in this game, loads up a drop. Everyone knows it's far too scary to walk across the map. There could be lurkers. There could be creep. And, you know, that's... who's done cardio lately? Probably not Very Old Man either. Alright, coming back. Ready to load up another drop. He actually spotted an Overlord, so the Marines are going to be sent out to deal with it. Boost some medevac. Heading towards the main. The medevacs will take the place of the Banshees from earlier. The Overlord, though, going to be outflanked. The multitasking, top-notch. Targeting the Hydralisk Den. Very Old Man with a lot in production. He actually shoots up to 200 supply, as has a tendency to happen when you get 8 Ultras at the same time. But, Magic. Very Old Man targets the medevacs, which allows the Marines to take down a few more of the Mutas. But now, taking his macro turn, smartly realized that he might need some better defenses against those Mutalisks. And we'll slap down the turrets, the TPM Sky Rockets, as the Sky Rockets are built. And taken down. It's cleaned up, but at what cost for Very Old Man? 6,000 minerals, 1,000 gas. Honestly, not as bad as I thought it was going to be. But Magic now. A quadruple drop. If 2 medevacs didn't do it, 4 medevacs is certainly a higher number. And the rest of the army, well, at least a dozen or so Marines clicked onto it. They didn't quite punch their ticket in time to get into the medevacs, though. There are 8 Ultralisks, 8 Lurkers, and 5 Infestors on the field, though, which is an incredibly dangerous army if it ever gets close enough to attack the Terrans. And the Lurkers and Spores will eviscerate this attack. He does get the scan off, There's still another lurker, but his units are literally funneled. Oh my. Well, that was about as bad as that could have gone. Well, I guess he could have not scanned. But he kills 2 lurkers, loses 4 medevacs worth of bio. So, technically a trade. But magic, a charitable donation to Very Old Man in a game that's been kind of tough for him. Now another command center. The depots. The war against the sea creatures will continue. If there was any race to have water units, obviously it would be Zerg. Ah, yes. You know what's more than 4? 5. 5 medevacs this time. 1, 2, 5 medevacs. That's the number. And this should be enough. Oh, but the queens... Get off my queen! He's gonna drop out, but there's a lurker in position. The rest of the drops are headed for the main. They decide that they don't want to bother with the lurkers here, but the spore crawlers will zone it out. A veritable scorcher put up by a Very Old Man. He takes down another medevac. And unlikely he's going to be able to escape from this base. Just chops the bio units to pieces as Magic again sends an entree to Very Old Man to enjoy. Well, now that our Zerg player has managed to get to 200 supply, he's got about the most anti-bio army composition you can build in the game. Ultras, lurkers, and infestors. So that is going to make the lives of the Marines, Marauders, and medevacs quite difficult. And by difficult, I mean relatively easy, because they'll just be dead. Full energy infestors. Very Old Man has the only unit he has hotkeyed, of course, the Queens. Good choice. A few dozen more Marines produced. He's lost 66 so far. I have a feeling that's only going to be the beginning. Old Man does a quick once through and clicks on all the upgrades he has yet to research, including Adrenal Glands, Ultra Speed, Neural Parasite, Hydra Speed, +1 melee attack, as well as +2 ranged attack, except that one's been going on for a bit. Well, a planetary fortress to zone out the base, and Magic still building the Marines, the Marauders, and the Medevacs, the M&M build. But this could very well be the death of Magic Shady here, if he continues down this biological road, instead of maybe taking a stop at McDonald's. Four more infestors. I don't think we've seen any spell casting out of the infestors yet, but just their existence is quite intimidating. I like the preemptive burrow on the lurkers, because he knows. I mean, maybe a bit of select all army usage, but if the lurkers are burrowed, they won't be dragged into the fray, unlike this conspicuous lurker at the front. Somewhat amusingly, the lurkers may be the fastest unit in the composition. Ah, it's time. A fusion core, as well as an armory. A second armory is on the way as Magic looks to take the tech tree into the skies. And, well, all roads eventually, when saturated with enough marine blood, he's repairing the Banshee. All roads eventually lead to battlecruisers. I mean, I guess it could be advanced ballistics and or Caduceus reactor, but, let's be honest with ourselves. Very Old Man getting dangerously close to pushing triple-digit APM. Oh no! Magic consulting his Prima strategy guide to make sure he knows what to build out of that fusion core. The Ultras, slowly but surely chewing their way through the rocks. A triple medevac drop. He's gonna drop it out this time, outside of the base. All right. But the Banshee repaired after 10 minutes, only to fly out and die immediately to Ultras. But here comes the bio again. That spine crawler had only healed halfway since the last attack. Oh no, a right click, but he burrows down. The infestors, I think he threw out a fungal. It didn't hit the mark. It didn't need to, though, as the Ultras cleave through everything else. Thors are in production. Marauders and Marines as well, but Thor's one of the best units if you're looking to maximize your effectiveness with a precarious amount of APM. Very old man replacing some of those drones. He's at 10,000 minerals, 7,500 gas. 4 more medevacs on the way to complement those Thors. Thor drop. Oh, some of the Marines left over from the drop. The Ultras, very old man, very adamant about the direct target fire. All right, not just those Marines, but that Marine in particular. That one needs to die first. I can respect that level of personal spite. Advanced ballistics is the choice. Though no liberators, as magic is continually maxed out. The planetary, holding it down between a rock and a hard place. +1 plating. He's got all 3 armory upgrades simultaneously. Very old man. Neither player really chomping at the bit to do a direct attack ever since that fateful engagement at the natural. So far, Magic has managed to throw 14 medevacs of bio to the other side for minimal gains. In fact, Magic has now lost several hundred more minerals and gas. And Very Old Man has mined 4,000 more minerals and 4,000 more gas overall. In fact, he's starting to mine out, both players starting to mine out of the main, the natural. The third base is not too far behind. High-sec auto-tracking, building armor, now on the way. Those most important late-game upgrades to make sure you can hunker down and turtle up. "25 minutes. Oh, the queens are... they were taking a nap. Yamato Cannon is on the way at the fusion core. As Magic now goes through that upgrade completionist phase of the game, where he's wondering what he hasn't yet invested in. And it looks like finally willing to waltz across the map with the bio army instead of flying across with the medevacs. Possibly to free up some supply for the cruisers of battle. A single lurker back there slicing through. He's gonna go for it, hits the stims, but the army comes down, throws out a fungal or 2 or 3 or 4. All right, the green beach balls of death and destruction. But they might call him Very Old Man, but when he's got infestors, he's more like a fun guy. Another bio army headed north. Ultras, though, may have found the worst possible engagement angle and then drawn right by it, but thankfully they're just doing a world tour at the moment, checking things out. The bio army is chasing. The medevacs are leading the charge. The Ultras will continue on their journey and make it all the way back to the creep. There and back again. An ultraless story. As he leads the bio along into the lurkers, though they don't know it yet. The infestors are on the way. Does he have a scan ready? Indeed he does. Cuts down the lurker. There's another lurker at the back. It is within scan range. He is taking this damage here. The Ultras close the distance and really start... Well, there's a fungal. The move command, 1 Marine left. He's trying to target the medevacs. It's getting kind of difficult. Does he have the fungal to finish it off? Give me the fungal! Not quite. He gets away for now. And Magic, after losing another couple dozen Marines and Marauders, will replace them with more Marines and Marauders. 5 Broodlords on the way. Another base being taken to the center. Not quite blocked by the creep of Very Old Man. Not yet. And not a creeper himself. At least not professionally. Oh, larva dying off the creep. Broodlords scattered throughout. I appreciate his only non-queen control group is for the 5 Ultralisks on the army. Possibly the least control group intensive unit, but I appreciate that attention to the largest details. So Magic has refilled those Marines, those Marauders. He's still got a couple Thors standing by. But the Broodlords are ready to begin the siege. Quite a strong choice, outranging the missile turrets and able to chew through them rather quickly, though he doesn't have any upgrades for the Broodlords, unfortunately. And here come the Ultras to finish things off, realizing they have an opportunity. Throws down the fungal, chops through the orbital command. Meanwhile, though, the counterattack lurker does a lot of damage, but the Queen will be caught and killed. The production tab is empty as both sides will micro their hearts out. 19,000 minerals, 11,000 gas for Very Old Man, 11.4, 9.5 for Magic. But he's working his way through. Very Old Man scrambles all the way back from the top right side of the map over to the bottom left. But the Thor! Cleaved in twain by those Ultras. And the Broodlords will follow suit, almost accidentally here, working on these missile turrets. No, it's not being repaired. It's just building armor is very good. Magic still maxed out. That SCV being healed. The Broodlord does so little damage and no attack upgrades. The Thor, though, not in high impact mode, so its impact is clearly very low. But the fungal catches it, the Ultras chewing through. But the Ultras are actually kind of caught behind each other here. The Marauders on the back line, everybody trying to get involved. There's a move command. Oh no! All the infestors are dead. The ground army is annihilated. And the Broodlords are going to be chased down by legions of Marines. All of Magic attacks fell flat. But on defense, he's able to turn the tables. And right now, DJ Magic, he might not have been able to drop the base, but running his way through, on the other hand. Five more Ultras on the way, but the Bio Ball continues to roll forward. The Corruptor's looking for some counter damage, though not exactly the most effective counter-attacking unit. That's what makes it so creative. He's going to work on the Planetary Fortress. This base will be completely cleared out by Magic. Ultra's on the field. The medevacs are pretty much out of energy. I don't believe he has the Caduceus reactor upgrade for the medevac energy regen. The Ultras... Oh, I thought they might wander into actually killing those units, but Very Old Man makes sure that doesn't happen. Another stim. And the medevacs are like, are you serious, guys? They can't heal him anymore. At this point, rehab would be a better investment than another stim, but I don't think that's going to stop him. The Ultras. Oh no, they're on a move command again. Oh, they're cut down. And Vikings here as well. But the Lurkers. Oh, he missed the scan. Or he used a scan on the creep tubers, not on the Lurkers. Oh no, the Lurkers are doing it. He stims again. Oh no. Autumn colors across the board. The red and the orange on the Marines and Marauders. The medevacs, every last drop of energy. The Broodlords working through. The Bio-Army, the Overlords! Oh no, the Vikings will plunder the main. He hits the stims again. The medevac's just having an aneurysm right now, and they don't have the energy to heal it. But Very Old Man may be supply blocked into next week. He's gonna lose pretty much every... He's down to 2. He only has 1 Overlord left. And it's on the other side. The Broodlord close into melee range of the turret. Magic is clearing out the main. He's tearing up everything right now. There's 5 lurkers left. The Queen's trying to take out the Vikings. The Broodlords are... well, they're not... yeah. Oh, but the lurker... let's go... oh, no, no, no. Magic! He's on the other side. He's not even looking at it. The lurker! Oh, my God! It's a massacre! The lurker just disemboweled the entire Terran army. That lurker has 50 kills! Oh, my God! And when he looked back, Magic realized, or maybe he didn't. Maybe he's wondering how that army just disappeared. 50 kill lurker, and now 15 ultras. Did he rebuild an ultralisk? He rebuilt his tech. Very old man, off the back of that lurker, has found new life and retakes the supply lead. He also has 2 mutas in production. Just throwing that one out there. The Vikings try to chase it down. Brenda, go! Just get out! Just keep going! Oh no! Gunned down by the Vikings. But the Ultras... oh no, he's microing. Oh no, he's microing again! It's like the Heart of the Swarm trailer, except the Ultra is too busy micromanaging things. Some mutas on the way. The Ultra's looking for a ridiculous base trade. Marines and Marauders all across the field. Somehow the supplies are dead even. Very old man has passed 100 average actions per minute. But more bases are taken down. They both still have money in the bank, but it comes down to the production, and it comes down to the grit, the tenacity, and the absolute overwhelming need to micro your ultras instead of just letting them A-move. Oh my God, just let them go. The tanks are still shelling. He keeps microing the ultras. No, the Thor escapes. He just keeps right-clicking them around. Oh, no. And the Thor. It's the... no, he's clicked on the orbital. Oh, no. It's a disaster. It's a tragedy. It's a calamity. Oh. Very old man. Not gonna let those young ultra whippersnappers have their way of things. It's his way or no way. And unfortunately, he still has enough money to build several dozen more ultras. So it's not over yet. Magic is back at 200 supply as he has the M and Thor. Oh no. No, is he rallied into... the orbital command magnetism upgrade has clearly been reached. Oh my God. 34 ultras have died. The Marines headed north. Very old man still has a larger bank. But, well, let's scan. The lurker's up there. Is that one of the 50 kill lurkers? No. I think the scan's gonna run out before he kills the second one. It does. Oh no. The 50 kill lurker remains. The lurker that has singles, well, multi-spinedly kept a very old man in the game is still entrenched. It may never move. For however long it takes for this to conclude. Magic has lost 226 Marines. There are now 14 more Hydras on the way. Does he have a lurker den? Has he rebuilt it? He has not. The Overlords hanging out in the corner. as they do. He's actually managed to lose 25 overlords, which is more than people make in most games. Considering hatcheries also provide supply, but a lurker den being rebuilt. Magic now finding another base to mine from. He hasn't had a lot of success on the attack, so focusing on defense clearly is the priority here. Scan. Gonna clear out the creep timbers. He does have 3 orbitals. Not a huge number for having those constant scans, but let's be honest about the possibility of a Raven being an effective unit in this sort of game. He does find the overlords gathering creepily in the corner. The Marauder is left behind to watch them, but it feels like he's being watched in turn. No, oh no. Oh. Oh no. Oh, sweet Kerrigan. 9 more Ultras in production. So I can confirm they are not rallied to that orbital command. But he is microing them from eggs. Very old man, back to 180 supply. Evo chambers, as he only has 1, 2, 3 upgrades at the moment. Magic is most of the way to completing his upgrade tree, only 38 minutes in. 3 weapons and infantry armor, and then plus 2 ship weapons and plating. Very old man refilling that drone count, though there aren't too many mineral patches with which to use it on. He's nearly maxed out again. The sensor tower's almost useless at this stage, considering they're covering bases that are entirely mined out in production that has been mostly obsolete. The lurker! 51! It dies! An ill-fated omen! Or maybe an end of suffering. 51 kills! 10 more lurkers on the way. The lurkers clearly finding a lot of value, as it is almost impossible to move command them while they're burrowed, which seems to be a decisive characteristic. Infestation pit on the way. The lurkers! Well, I not one to underestimate very old man's penchant for over-microing. And now, the Marines again, slowly but surely clearing through. But the Mutas! Here come the Ultras. And down goes the medevacs. Hot. Almost gets away by convincing him those weren't the medevacs he was looking for, but not quite. Both at 170 supply. No vision of the lurkers on the right flank. The Ultras, as well as the Hydras. And the Mutas, the full Lisk complement. The triple Lisks here. Also some Zerg legs in there. Not sure how that happened. The medevacs have full energy, but I'm sure they can fix that with time. The Marines and Marauders somehow managed to join up. Both players maxed out. Oh, accidentally loads up some. He clicks on the... Oh, no. He clicks on the planetary. There's not enough space. There's not enough surface area. And now that's no longer an issue, as all the Ultras but one are slaughtered in turn, raising the count to 42 Ultras killed. Not sure what was over there at SCV. The lurkers in the center of the map. The Vikings find yet another Overlord A second Overlord hunting season has commenced as the Overlords try to fly to the next map. But unfortunately, very old man will not let them go. He's like, no, come back to the office. We don't work remotely in this army. Come back to the office so I can micromanage you without having to move my screen too much. Also, how do I set it up so I have those 2 screens like some of you youngins do? Okay. Back in my day, we used punch cards. And if you give me shit for it, I'll punch your card, young man. Well. More overlords forced to be produced. So far, 42 overlords and ultras have died. A remarkable and painful coincidence. The lurkers have again taken up residence nearby the base. The Vikings will be taken down. Hyperflight rotors. At some point, Yamato cannon was researched for battlecruisers, though no battlecruisers have joined the field. Somehow Magic, despite his best efforts, has managed to be supply blocked at this late stage, joining Very Old Man, who just built 10 more overlords. And here come the ultras, but even more lurkers. The lurkers are just so damn effective here. And then there are also some other lurkers as well, but that's really the B team. 8 more ultras on the way. So help me God. The Banshee's cloaked. There's no detection in this zip code. Well, besides the scans, which don't really work for him. Though the Banshee will run out of energy. Magic has abandoned his main to the lurkers. He seems to be making absolutely zero effort to keep it alive.
Is under attack.
As I say it. He's going to be moving another army to the north, but it looks like every single production facility will go down. The singular Muta, providing anti-air cover, will mercifully be pulled away in order to move command. Finally gets the Banshee. Down goes the orbital. There's one lurker back here. He scans. There's only one orbital command left on the map. Did he target the lurker? There's so many overlords above it. He manages to get the target fire off. The Hydra's scrambling back, as are all of the ultras. And Thors are here as well. Spine crawlers doing their part. The ultras mercifully not being micro. And that means they will completely slaughter and eviscerate everything in their path. And the sea creatures were kept out of the base, but the lurkers, on the other hand, will get through the depots. Oh, wow. 7 swarm hosts in production. Sir Richard is being called into battle with his merry band of swarm host brethren. Quite a choice for this stage of the game. Certainly an original one. An unexpected tech switch here at 45 minutes in. As Magic gets his gases stolen. I guess we'll call them his gases here. He still has an army entrenched near his last orbital. A very important fact, as the main bases have just been completely cleared out. There's no home to go back to for either of these players, as they've both done quite an effective job of clearing out everything their opponent ever had in the first, half an hour of this game. The swarm host chased down that concussive shells, the very first upgrade researched. The ultras are looking to chase this down, but thankfully for Magic are being microed. The locust raining down. He's burrowed the swarm host. The production tab is obsolete. There's still enough money in the bank to rebuild an uncomfortable amount of units. The orbital does have full energy here. 4 more ultras in production. The ultras will pull back, decide not to engage. Well, besides the ones that are using Apple Maps and take the wrong path. The Marauders. 1 Marauder shot will kill off that ultra. He chases it down. He's going for it. The Marauders, they're still going. But they manage. Oh. Well, they don't make it. So close, yet so incredibly far. As Very Old Man now with an 80 supply lead. Though he does have 11 Ultralisks. which in many cases you might consider to put him at a distinct advantage. In which case, I wonder what you've been watching. The depots are rebuilt. The supply line is recreated. Barracks in production as well. Magic can pretty much play 2 more games with the amount of money he has in the bank. $75,000 to $56,000 resources lost. Very old man is starting to run out of gas that he can mine on really any part of the map. Though somehow both players are transferring workers down the same direction. The lurkers will put him in an awkward position. That lurker just a little bit too close to a missile turret. This base is now completely mined out for magic here in the center. But he is incredibly reluctant to move that army because I don't know if he's quite confident, but he's capable of realizing if he waits long enough, eventually very old man will right-click on something with his ultras. And that is possibly his best chance at victory. And believe it or not, very old man, he does have those ultras hotkeyed. Long distance mining with the... Well, I don't know where these drones are going. Taking the scenic route. Mutas, Swarm House. As we close in on the hour mark, he's going to try a lurker again. The Locusts will begin their siege. An annoyance of Locusts will rain down and try to get this. But again, the lurker is, well, it is, I didn't know they would splash. Wow. Now, very old man mining from the front yard of Magic Space here. But siege tanks, something we've seen a surprisingly small amount of. A huge bioforce as well. There is one lurker in the mineral line. The ultras are trying to swing around. And they will file through the recreated base of Magic. The fighting in the streets here, if you would. And will close the distance. And thankfully for very old man, those ultras are left uncontrolled. But oh no, he's microing! He's microing again! Oh no, somebody take away his keyboard. All right, he's gonna get carpal tunnel. 55 ultras, but don't worry. He's got 3 more in production. He still has enough money to build another dozen or so ultras. There's only 1 siege tank, but it manages to kill the lurker. There's still 5 lurkers out there. It's still anyone's game. So far, both players have managed to deserve a loss, but only one player can claim it. The SCVs! He's right-clicked on the tank. If he was A-move, they would attack the SCVs, but since he's right-clicked, the Zerglings are just running around looking for an opening. Eventually, the Ultras will get it. The Bio Ball just slaughtering the drones. The drone count down to 20 or so. There's still over 9,000 minerals in the bank for very old man. Over 9,000 gas for Magic. He's now lost 290 Marines. The list of buildings lost is... You know, that might not even be the full list, because I've never seen it go to the edge of the slots we have. I didn't know that was possible, because the different tech labs are for different types of buildings. But why are there 4 different types of tech labs? How does that even work? Engineering bay being rebuilt. The Ultras desperately trying to hunt down that missile turret. And these depots. And if he gets supply... Well, Magic is supply blocked. So, mission successful. Very old man. happy with the work that was done here. Adds 5 more ultras into production. Good injects as well, using base camera injects. Banelings? Are those the first Banelings? There was, the first Banelings at the very beginning of the game during that first attack. Almost 50 minutes ago were the last Banelings. But the second wave is on the way. Banelings a unit that even if you right-click it, it's hard to go wrong. And here come the ultras. There's still some swarm hosts scattered around. There's a swarm host at the middle of the base. But right now, it's all about those ultraslings and banes. Another Roach Warren. Roach Warren number 3 is on the way. Hydras as well. There's also 4 lurkers in the main base, which were rediscovered after many years lost. And will rejoin with their people. Magic, still with enough money to build 15 battle cruisers if he's so inclined. The lurkers are walking into the scan, unfortunately, here. Well, I don't know if that's unfortunate. There's only 1 orbital command. He does have the scan. The lurkers, though, are slicing through. I think he just barely will have enough to deal with this with the Thor here. But he loses a lot more. The ultraslings and banes trying to file through. But unfortunately, the firing squad, the banelings were an exquisite choice for an excruciating moment. As very old man plummets to the age he wishes he still was in supply. And it was 35, and now it's 48, but I'm starting to think both are still accurate. As, oh no, 63 ultras dead. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just, I try to remain impartial, unbiased, but it's time to stop. It's time to stop with the ultras. I've seen more ultras die in this game than I've seen built in the last 2 months of professional matches. And ultras are not an uncommon unit. Sometimes less certainly is more. We're gonna try another angle. 16 roaches. Oh no. And 2 more ultras. Some banelings on the way. But very old man, he adds 6 more ultras. And now he's out of money. The map is almost entirely mined out. This is the last base with minerals. The last minerals. Not the first time, not the second time, not the third time, not the 4th time, not the 5th time, not the 6th time, not the 7th or 8th or 9th. All right, he's made it this far. He's not going to change now. He's going to build another 10 Ultralisks. And will this be the time that he lets those 10 Ultralisks do the work they were born to do? Or will he insist on micromanaging them to their very clear and very apparent and very predictable demise? What do you think? Like, subscribe, and make your predictions. Don't do it. There's still a few lurkers. Remember that 50-kill lurker that made this game? No! 24 Zerglings. Well, one way or another, this is it. He's out of money. And this time around, there's no turning that. There's literally no more minerals left on the entire map. He's mined 88,000 of them. He's mined 36,000 gas. He's managed to lose 100,000 resources. And here we go. The Thor. Oh, the right click as he tries to jam his way through an absolute wall of high velocity firepower. And oh no, lo and behold, somehow the Terran army was able to find success. The last Ultra. We'll start chopping through. Infestor dead. The swarm hosts are still here. Very I was about to talk about how a draw can exist, but I don't think this is the scenario where that's plausible. There's one lurker with 26 kills. I don't know how long it's been there. The entire tech tree will be chopped down. It looks like the Marines tapped that Ultra on the shoulder, and Magic has discovered liberators. The bio ball continues to roll across the map. The roaches will burrow underneath. To what end? The siege tanks. The liberators are out. There's all that. There are 3 swarm hosts, 1 lurkers, and 2 queens. Can't get any more minerals. GG. WP. With great punctuation. Very old man will type GG and then allow his opponent a victory lap. Though he is he's running away with his drones. He can't even build. Question mark, question mark. Is he expecting a GG back? Is that what we're... Well, there's only so many buildings left. There's 1 more spore. Did I block you? At exactly 59 minutes and 59 seconds. Very old man has been defeated. Magic. Rudely, though very understandably not responding because this entire game has hinged on him either walking into lurkers or not. So I don't blame our stoic and tenacious Terran for concentrating on achieving that last second victory. But, well, I don't know what I expected. But that both exceeded and, well, it certainly exceeded something. Well, of all the games I've ever seen, that was like 6 of them. Hopefully it made your day a little bit better in some way or another. Whether it's feeling superior to what you just watched or inspired. Either way, hopefully it made your day a little bit better. Got the means of motivation, be awesome to check out Patreon or YouTube membership for my inevitable therapy. And thank you for watching. Here, liking and subscribing is free stuff. Hopefully you agree, though. While it might not have been the best of the best, it was certainly a display of Bronze League heroes. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Stay tuned.